Hey guys, how you going? This is a short first in a series of videos. There's 5 of them on a project where we're going to start to combine some of the skills that we've learnt in our programming so far. We're going to create a memory game. So this is going to use if blocks and loops and arrays and a lot of different control structures that we've learned about so far, and combine all these things together to produce a memory type game. There's many ways that this can be done. This is just one way of doing this type of an application. So having a look at a little bit of the design work before we get going, a little bit of the top-down design stuff. You can see here we've got a structured design chart which is sort of showing the order of the events that we're going to use, and basically the top level sort of design of what we're going to need to do. Essentially we're going to be using 2 events really to make this program go. Obviously we've got on our user interface design over here on the right, we've got a series of 12 cards all facing down, and they're arranged in a 4x3 grid. So obviously we're going to use 6 different card images because they've got to be in pairs. So if I've got 12 cards, that means there's 6 pairs. So our program, firstly, when the game loads, or when the program loads, or when it reloads after you've found them all for the first time, we're going to need a shuffle function to shuffle where the cards are appearing, where they're laid out, so they're not in the same places every time. So a shuffle function is going to do that. We're going to use that a few times when it initially loads, but also when it reloads. And then on the click of any one of these cards, we're going to need a function, I'm calling that choose, that's got to determine which of these cards was clicked on. Okay, so that we can then show what's the face of that card that's hiding underneath it, and it's got to wait. The choose function is going to have to wait until 2 cards have been clicked on, so that it can then call the check function, which is going to do the work of deciding, okay, have we found a match? And if we have found a match, then we've got to actually check with that choose function, have we found all the matches first? Because if they've all been found, then the game is obviously over. But if they haven't all been found, I've got to check, has a match been found this time? It's got to count up how many attempts that I'm taking to find all these matches. If a match isn't found, then the cards get turned back over that I just turned over, and I want to see the blue back of the cards again. Okay, so that's essentially what's going to happen. And then once all the matches are found, if the check function determines that all the matches have been found, it's going to display me a little alert box that just tells me that I've completed and how many attempts it took me to find all of those cards. So it's a pretty simple sort of an application, and then it's going to give me an opportunity to reset the game board and go again, which when it resets, obviously the shuffle function will be invoked, and that will shuffle the cards again so that they're in a different spot. So it's a pretty simple implementation of a fairly classic memory type game. Now next part of this series, we'll create the first part of the code and we'll get going. We'll also, but the starting code for this is available in our Moodle course from our demo projects, so you can go and download that and set it up and get ready to go for part 2.